He's an internationally recognized guru of culinary arts. He started his culinary career from his home country, Austria, but in 1988, he migrated to South Africa and he continued his journey. In 1995, he started his own business, Martin's Catering. In 2003, he took reins of South African Chefs Association as the president and held this title for 6 years. In 2013, he opened up Chef MLK School of Cooking. In 2014, he was awarded the title of Global Master Chef from the Global Master Chef Society, and the list of his awards and achievements goes on and on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warmly welcome Chef Martin Cobard, who is the Vice President of World Chefs.
Wow, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Well, Martin, it's great to have you with us online and capitalize on your professional learning and experience, and especially for the young students of culinary and hospitality management are with us in this session, and I'm sure they're going to learn a lot from this session. This is going to be a 30-minute session, 30 to 35-minute session. And I know this is a very short time. It's not a long session, but we would like you to share your knowledge, your experience, your vision of the culinary industry with these young students so that they are able to become great chefs once they step into the hospitality industry. So over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you very much for this very, very warm welcome. It's quite amazing to see how the school COTHM has grown over the years. It's absolutely awesome, and I've been following you guys for many years already, and especially a special thank you also to 𝗵𝗲𝗳𝗃, who's heading up this whole COTHM Imperium, and a great thank you also to 𝗩𝗶𝗰𝗲𝗀 for setting this all up today. Absolutely amazing what you guys have done. It is so nice to see so many students in Pakistan, and I think it's last, as you said, 𝗏𝗏𝗲 is about 16 locations now, and obviously international as well. I know the one in Dubai. Well, it is absolutely amazing. I've got a small little school in South Africa and one in Istanbul, in Namibia, Windhoek. We have a very, very small amount of students compared to what you have here. I had always the dream of growing my business, but growing my business as a small company and having small amount of students per classroom. So our kitchens are all laid out to have a maximum of 12 students per classroom, per kitchen, per practical kitchen, and per classroom. But we're very blessed that this year, after 2 very hard years with the pandemic, that we've got sort of a 75% intake of our students. So yes, we are very happy, but we are very, very much smaller than you guys. But it is absolutely amazing to see of how many great students and how many potential great chefs are coming from Pakistan and coming to all over the world and helping us to do what we love to do in the hospitality industry, and that is serving our customers to the best of our ability. And saying to the best of our ability, I think you all students, and I'm talking particularly now to students, I'm not talking to management because I think they know anyway, but I'm talking particularly to the students, that each and every one is very blessed of being in such a high quality educational facility like COTHM, because this is the first stepping stone of making sure that your career is set and is set and cast in stone so you can go and grow and grow and grow. One thing is for sure, and which you need to remember all the time, which I also tell my students, is once you get your certificate and you can call yourself chef and wearing that white jacket as your day-to-day uniform, it does not mean that you are 100% qualified. It only means that you got a piece of paper that you are a professional chef. I've been a professional chef now. I qualified in 1986. That is most probably some of you might not even been born at that time. But it doesn't mean that I'm old, but it certainly does not mean that I'm a qualified, fully educated chef. I'm learning on a day-to-day basis. Every time I step into a kitchen, every time I step into a restaurant, every time I step into a fast food facility, every time I step into any food or hospitality establishment, I walk in there with my eyes open. Can everybody hear? I just got a message that somebody can't hear me.
No, it's
but
okay. Please carry on, please.
Okay. So I walk in every establishment, hospitality industry establishment, and walking in there with my eyes open. And this is something I urge you to do, because this is the only way you're going to be learning. And it does, as I said earlier, it does not matter in which establishment you walk in there, as long as it is hospitality, as long as it is a service industry. And even if you walk into a bus station, even if you travel in a bus, travel with open eyes, because you can learn from other people. You can learn from other people's good doings. You can learn from other people's mistakes. And that's what life is all about. So I always tell my students at the graduation ceremonies, when they get the certificate, when they get their medals, when they get all the things where it says now, where it says now that they are qualified and they are able to wear the title of being a chef, that they by far not qualified. And in fact, they will never be qualified 100%, because that's the beauty about our industry. Our industry is one as such that it changes all the time. And if you start following like the hospitality industry internationally, if you just follow food trends internationally, they're changing continuously. And this is something what you got to do. It's not just your textbooks you get from your school, which you need to learn. You need to keep yourself educated all the time. And we are very fortunate that we live in an era where we do have internet, we have Google, we have international talks like the one we have today with myself, where you can just learn all the time. You learn all the time. So, ladies and gentlemen of COTHM, just again, please do your utmost best in your time you're at the school. Do your utmost best to get your exams and 100% out there, and hopefully even finish with distinction. And then realize that you're still not qualified once you have a certificate. I know it sounds sad, but I see it as a positive way, because I'm very much of a positive person. It's not a boring job. We're going into an industry, or you guys going in industry, and it doesn't matter if you're a manager, a food and beverage manager, or an executive chef, or a commie, or whatever the title is when you go into the industry, or like in a couple of years time down the line. It is exciting. It's daily changing, and this is all what it's all about, I believe, because I could never imagine myself sitting in an office somewhere, in an office building from 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏 or whatever those big companies are, and going in there and working from a Monday to Friday, an 8 to 5 job, sitting in front of the computer and just typing in some gibberish, some numbers, some letters, some whatever. It must be the most boring job ever. So I cannot imagine doing that. I cannot imagine sitting in an office 24/7. I'm always happy when I'm able to step into hospitality industry. I'm always happy when I'll be able to step into my kitchens. I'm always happy when I'll be able to talk in front of my students. And I'm always happy to pass on knowledge. And I'm so more excited if I can learn something more from people like yourselves, from people in the industry. So yeah, that's just my little thing, what I had to say about education. It is very, very important. It is their stepping stone. And again, I say it again, and I say thank you again to COTHM School to invite me. And a special thank you goes to Mr. 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗍, who is the owner of the school. I know him for many, many years, and we've been talking endless times, and he laid his dreams down, and I think slowly but surely he's able to fulfill his dreams. And having so many students all around Pakistan and international that highly respect our industry, and that his team, his management team and teachers teaching what his dream is, to get fantastic people, humans into our industry, because we can't do it without. And that's also one of the beautiful things about our industry. You know, I mean, I saw a video the other day on one of the social media platforms where they were introducing a robot on serving customers in a restaurant, and they were introducing a robot of doing various meals in a kitchen, in a commercial kitchen. And I just shook my head and I said to myself, you know what? This is just an image gag. This is just an advertising. This is just something what I cannot believe that it will ever work, because we, the people in the industry, is the ones who actually make it happen. I would never want to be sitting in a restaurant where I get served by a robot. I would never want to be sitting in a restaurant where my meal is prepared by a robot. You know, yes, we are using certain technology which helps us. We are using certain equipment and appliances in the kitchen which help us. But at the end of the day, it's still the human, the two hands we've got in our head, in our body, who we put in that meal, and specifically our soul, which we prepare for our customers and serve our customers. So I think it's just such an exciting industry, and I could not think of doing anything else. And I hope that each and every one of you sitting around in 16 campuses and thinking and feeling that passion, which I have for the industry. And I hope each and every one of you will create with himself that passion, because this is something you're not born with. This is something not you can buy in a shop. This is not something a teacher can teach you in your campus. This is something you need to create on your own. You need to have your attitude right. You need to have your thinking right. You need to know what you want to do. And I think the sign that you are all sitting there and listening to me, I think you're in a very, very good step forward to creating that passion and creating that love for our industry. So let me talk, since the time is a little bit short, let me talk a little bit about World Chefs. And of course, you are all members of or students of COTHM, since COTHM is one of the affiliated and accredited campuses internationally of World Chefs. That means that you, each and every one of you, are also a member of World Chefs. Now, what is World Chefs? And I'm not sure if you heard about World Chefs already. Well, I am quite sure that you have, but let me just emphasize on World Chefs again and what our role is as World Chefs. As good Barber Sheikh earlier said, I'm very blessed of having worked myself up all the way to the position of Vice President of World Chefs. It is my duty to pass on the knowledge of World Chefs and let everybody know what World Chefs is all about. So what is World Chefs? World Chefs is basically the mother association of chefs around the world, or hospitality industry around the world. You can compare it perhaps with FIFA, the soccer umbrella association, where all the soccer games, or all the soccer teams or clubs or federations are part of FIFA. So basically, World Chefs is in the same concept. World Chefs being the mother association, which means that we currently have 118 member countries. So there's only per country, there's one member association or federation club able to become a member of World Chefs. We do have, however, a couple of affiliated memberships, and I think that's the case also in Pakistan, where we have one official member of World Chefs, and then we've got one or two, or even three, I think, if I come to think about affiliated members of World Chefs. So currently we have 118 member countries of World Chefs, and it means we're representing an estimate, and this is just an estimate, of about 10 million chefs around the world. So World Chefs is built up basically as on a structure like any other company would be. It's run by a board of directors and a board of a presidium. The presidium consists of 4 people, which is the president, which is Thomas Gudler, Chef Thomas Gudler, originally from Germany, but is residing in Saudi Arabia for the last close to 30 years already. Then it's vice president, which is myself. I'm originally born in Austria, did my apprenticeship in Austria. I've did my a couple of years of experience in various hotels around Europe, and then I moved in 1988. I moved to South Africa and I started my own business in South Africa, which is now 34 years now ago. I'm currently, as I'm talking to you now, I'm currently sitting in Austria, which is in the middle of Europe, close to Germany, close to England. So it's a small little country within Europe. It's Austria. That's where I, originally was born, and I'm actually residing or living now in Austria for a while. But thanks to technology, I'm still able to run my schools and run my other businesses in South Africa from far away. Then it is an assistant vice president, which is 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗳, who is the president of the Emirates Culinary Guild in Dubai. He's the assistant vice president, so he assists me in various matters within the running of the association or running of World Chefs. And then we've got the secretary general, which is Cornelia Volini. She is based in Canada. So she's the one who's doing all the admin. She's doing the hard labor. She's doing really the hard work. She's doing a fantastic job. And from communication point of view, she's by all means not the secretary, although the title means general secretary, but she's a vital part of World Chefs and the Presidium. And then the board of directors is set by continental directors. Continental directors in various areas. We've got continental directors in Africa and Middle East, which is Chef Andy Cuthbert. He's based in Dubai. So he runs Africa and Middle East, or is looking after Africa and Middle East. And then we've got 3 continental directors in Europe. Europe is divided up in 3 different areas, in North, Central, and South. So there's 3 continental directors there, and then we've got a continental director in Australia, Pacific Rim, which his name is Peter Wright. He just joined the board a couple of months ago after the departure of 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗳𝗍, Neil Abrahams, I'm sorry, thinking about another Neil Abrahams, who was the continental director of Australia and Middle East for about 2 years, and due to work commitment and family commitment, he had to move away, and that's when Chef Peter Wright took over. And then, of course, we've got Asia, which is one of our biggest continents with most of our members, which is run currently by Dr. Rick Stevens. He's based in Singapore, or was based in Singapore. He's now gone back to his native country, which is Australia. So this is basically the board of directors and the presidium of World Chefs. One thing I would like to add in that regard is that none of those people I've just mentioned are remunerated financially for what we do. We do not get a salary from World Chefs. We're doing it all freehand. We're not getting paid a cent. The only payment we have is being able to talk to people like yourselves, or given the opportunity to talk to people like yourselves, and spread the word of world chefs and spread the passion of chefs from around the world. So for me, I see it as payment. For me, I see it as an opportunity. For me, I see that as an advantage for myself of growing myself and educating myself even more. So what does World Chefs do? World Chefs basically is just a platform, I would say, for everything in education, everything in competition, everything in sustainability, everything in hospitality industry in general. So we also have an office which doing all our administration work, which i.e. is there's a lot of newsletters. We've got the website, which I all would like you to have a look at. I see some people are taking notes, but maybe just take a mental note at that stage. Please go and visit the website, the World Chefs website, which is www.worldchefs.org. So have a look. There's a lot of information about World Chefs inside there. So that's what our office does. Our office is currently in Paris, in France, for the last, I think it's about 5-6 years now already. We've got our office there. We've got a permanent office there. We've got a general manager, and we've got, I think, currently about 7 staff members sitting in the office in Paris and working for World Chefs. They do get a salary. Don't be worried about that. So they're not doing anything for free, because that's the main job within World Chefs. We do have various events coming up, and of course, the last couple of years, we've had a situation where we all were formed by a pandemic, which was the Corona pandemic. It was very, very hard for the whole hospitality industry, for the whole world. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their whole livelihoods in our industry. A lot of people lost part of their livelihoods. A lot of people, the unfortunate thing that unfortunately a lot of people succumbed by the coronavirus, and we had a lot of dead within our industry as well, which we all mourn very deeply. But the positive side, and as I said to you earlier already, I'm a positive thinking person. The positive side is that we been given gifts like the Zoom, for example, where I'm able to talk to all of you students today, which we did not have in that form before Corona. We developed technologies which help us in the future. And of course, we also developed creativity. And I'd like to talk a little bit about creativity. I mean, as I said to you earlier, I've been residing in South Africa for over 34 years. And in South Africa, and I'm sure it's in many, many other countries as well, there's no support from the government, financial support for the government, for various what do you call it? Dilemmas which we received. But the fortunate thing is that we learned a lot, and there's a lot of people within South Africa which have not received anything from the financial support from the government, and they were sitting with a situation where they had no one to turn to and had to be creative to put a loaf of bread on the table for their family. So there was unbelievable great things coming out where I know a couple of people, they're had fine dining restaurants, and all of a sudden they've been told by the government they have to close the restaurant, they have to send all the staff home. And that was a situation where the hospitality industry in South Africa was closed for over 8 months. My school was closed for over 8 months. But with technology, we were able to continue teaching our students on a theory basis. And in time, we even did practical courses, within the hospitality industry with our students.
Martin, I think
So,
in this post-COVID world, technology has played a very vital role in, making it possible for the students to keep learning, as you
yeah,
just mentioned. And in Pakistan also, uh, we have developed solutions for the young students to continue their education without interruption, because pandemic has hit all around the world, and especially the education system has been hit all around the world. But technology
yeah,
has played a very vital role in keeping our efforts continued. So, Martin, I have a question here. In the
yeah.
post-COVID world, things are changing, and there are a lot of new dynamics in the culinary world. Would you like to give these young students a few tips as to how they can learn effectively while they are in the school, and then later when they start their career in the industry, how can they develop a great career in the culinary industry, in the hospitality industry, and they can become a chef like Martin Cobalt?
Well, no one wants to become anybody like me, I think. It's yeah, maybe there's some people out there, but it is quite challenging. But I think I touched on it earlier already, and when I started talking, I think one needs to realize that we're never going to be finished training, and there's so many opportunities, and that's what the pandemic gave us as well. They gave us more opportunities of seminars, of online seminars, which are very inexpensive. Before, in the past, before the pandemic, there was various courses offered all around the world, but to get there cost a lot of money. To join the courses cost a lot of money. It was a lot of time. Sometimes you had to go and course it. It took like just not an hour. It took a day. It took 2 days. It took a week. It took a month. So it all costed a lot of money. Now we are in a situation where we have an overflow of seminars, an overflow of knowledge, which gets spread all over the world via the internet. And all you need to do, you just need to click in, sign up, click in, and just listen and participate. This is a gift which we could not even have imagined a couple of years ago before the pandemic. I mean, I spent a lot of time for the last 2 years, because before I used to travel in average between 20 and 25 times overseas from my base in South Africa, to go to various events from all around the world on behalf of world chefs. I judged a hell of a lot of competitions internationally. I've done a lot of seminars internationally, whatever. Now with the pandemic, we were very much restricted in travel. So I spend a lot of time in my office in front of my computer. It's not what I really like to do. As I said to you earlier, it's a very difficult time, because I'm much more of a people person. I'm much more would be sitting with you guys there now in your classrooms and standing in front of you and have this interaction, this personal interaction with each and every one of you. But unfortunately, with the pandemic, we're not able to do that. So, but an opportunity being given to each and every one of us to have the international platform of World Chef, to have the international platforms of various educational platforms in our industry. And all I said, you just need to click in and just listen and participate. So time, unfortunately, has gone where we used to have huge libraries, cookbook libraries or hospitality industry libraries in our school. I still believe in going through a cookbook. For me, it's very inspirational. I still do have quite a big a library in our school in South Africa and in Namibia. And I do force, and unfortunately I have to use the word force, my students to go and look in cookbooks for various recipes, and not on the internet, because on the internet it's very easy. But there's so many recipes out there, unfortunately, they do not work. They're just recipes which somebody just put up on the internet and they're there. The ones in the cookbooks, they're still the real ones, and they're still the classical old ones. So I urge you to, as we said earlier, to carry on educating yourself, to have a situation where you'll be sitting in libraries, where you, and go through cookbooks, educate yourself. But I think the most important thing, and I have not mentioned it yet, the most important thing is this here: your mouth and your eyes, your nose, and your 7 senses, to walk around with open eyes, talk to people, network to people, because this is the biggest gift of God we all have. We're able to speak, we're able to see, we're able to smell, we're able to hear. So use those senses, and embrace them, because this is better than any internet. This is better than any book. This is better than anything. Any classes you do is better than sitting here and listening to me from Austria, talking to each and every one of you. Just listen and talk, communicate. The network you guys have, you got such a great opportunity of having 16 campuses all around the world. You got a network of students, you got a network of highly educated trainers and management team in front of you, which you can ask questions, which you can communicate and learn from. I always tell my students, and I just had a new intake yesterday, so I had a little talk to my new students yesterday over the internet yesterday, and one thing I always say, and I mean it with my heart: there's no such thing as a stupid question. I repeat that again. There's no such thing as a stupid question. If you think it's in your head, I said, I didn't understand that, I didn't know how to do that, or I've got something, I found something, I saw something, I heard about something, whatever, but I'm not sure what it is. Ask the question. There will be somebody out there who will be able to give it an answer. And that's how you learn to network with your people. And I'll say it again, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So talking about questions, is there anybody? I see a couple of hands up there in the background or whatever. Is there anybody who would like to ask me a question? Because unfortunately, time is running out very quickly. And I'm sure there's somebody who would like to ask another question.
A student has, shared a question with me, and he's asking, should he choose a hotel or a restaurant to start his career? What is your suggestion?
I think this is a personal question. It's a personal thing for that particular student, of where he feels more comfortable, where he or she feels more, talented for, and that's one of the reasons why I said to you earlier, I chose to have a school with a minimum amount of students, where my teachers can analyze each and every student in detail. So in the first year, when we analyze our students, we find out where they're suitable the most, be it in a fine dining restaurant, be it in a hotel where they do like buffets, be it in a function facility, be it in a corporate environment where they do canteens work, or be it in a factory. I mean, our hospitality industry is so vast that that student needs to find out by himself or herself what their passion is, what their talents are. I mean, there's a lot of people and there's a lot of beautiful pictures cruising around on the internet, where I'm sometimes looking and said, wow, how the hell did they do that? And I know by myself that I would have great difficulties to copy that plate, to make it as beautiful as I see it in a cookbook, whatever. So I'm more the type of person, I'm more of a hotel chef. I can work a hotel, I can do a la carte, I can do functions, I can do buffets, I can do cocktail parties, but fine dining restaurant, it's not for me. I'm not a 2 or 3 Michelin star chef who can create these beautiful plates and spend hours on creating those menus. I'm not that type of person. I'm not the type of chefs, but that's really what it is. You've got to find out yourself where your strengths are.
All right, thank you very much.
I got another question coming in from Shafiq, of how many years it takes to experience to open a restaurant. Again, coming straight out of school, I would not advise to open your own restaurant. You got to go and work into a restaurant similar to the one you would like to open, to experience and to learn from the mistakes perhaps that restaurant owner makes, or learn from the good things that restaurant owner makes from that place you work in, because it is a financial burden. I think it's everybody's dream who gets into the hospitality industry to open one day their own restaurant, their own hotel, their own school, but you need experience. So I would definitely say, I mean, I'm not sure at which age the students in Pakistan graduating, but like in South Africa, they're graduating at an age of about 21, 22. And I'll normally tell them before they're 30, do not open a restaurant. That's my normal standard thing. Get at least 5, 6, 7 years of experience in the industry, find out what you're good at. And then, of course, on top of that, you've got to be good at business management. To open a restaurant is not standing in the kitchen and cooking meals. You need to run a restaurant as a financial burden. You're responsible for your staff. You're responsible for the staff's families. There's big responsibility to open your own hospitality industry. So get the experience so you don't fail. I failed once, very big in a restaurant. I nearly lost everything. But again, I saw it on the positive side. I've paid back all my debtors. I've made sure that my staff is all looked after, whatever, but I've lost the restaurant. But today, I'm grateful that I went through that period because I've learned from it. I learned from my mistakes and I made some big mistakes. And today, I've got 3 businesses, which are fairly successful. And I'm happy that I had that learning in my early days as a chef.
That's great. Martin, time is running out. And I have a question.
Yeah.
When are you coming to Pakistan?
Well,
will you marry me, baby?
I'll be very happy to come and visit you guys. Anytime, really. You send me a detail, when you need me, when you want me. I'll be very happy to come and visit you in Pakistan. I'll be very happy. And I said I would be much happier to be able to stand in front of you in a classroom and having that feeling from humanity and not just sitting in front of a screen and talking to you people. So yeah, anytime.
Yeah, thank you very much. And you are invited from the
love you,
management
baby.
of COTHM. And whenever it is possible, you can let us know and we can, do the formalities of the visa and everything, right? Now, Martin, I would like to thank you from the core of my heart for sparing your precious time to be with us. Talking to all the students, the trainers, the teachers, and the management team members. And we hope to have another session with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. As I said again, just to at closing, and I've said it before, and I keep on saying it. I've been saying it for all my life. There's no such thing as a stupid question. So ask those questions. You got your teachers up there, they're getting paid a salary to receive those questions and give it the best answer to their ability. So ask those questions because that's what it's all about. And enjoy the industry. I love that industry, and I hope all of you are finding that love for that industry as well, as much as I do. So thank you very much. Thank you, Pakistan. Thank you, COTHM. Thank you very much. I send my greetings to each and every one of you on behalf of World Chefs and on behalf of, just received a message from the president of World Chefs. He also sends his personal regards to each and every one of you, and we hope we'll see you all soon. Thank you very much.